Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is July the 1st. It's a brand new month, also a brand new quarter. I haven't made a video on my second channel in roughly 2 weeks. So hopefully you guys have been doing well. Sorry, I've been very busy with a bunch of things, but back to our regular scheduled uploads. I'm going to do a trade recap. I'm going to go over my monthly statistics for the month of June. And we're also going to take a look at the overall markets and what to expect moving forward coming into a brand new month. So with that being said, let's first hop straight into my trade statistics for the month of June. Final P&L 73,000. Trade win percentage roughly 59%, profit factor 2.6, daily win percentage 84%, along with my average win to loss ratio of about 1.77. So as I scroll down here, you can see within the past 2 weeks, the markets definitely slowed down. A lot more consolidation, rejections at key levels, bounces off key levels of support. So a lot more a lot more rejections and reversals, a lot less continuation in the market. So last week, a lot of break even trades. I would just consider these break evens, and then ended up taking a loser on last Friday. I took two losing trades, so I ended up being red on the week. This was my first losing week in about, I think, 2 or 3 months here. And then this week so far, right down 1.8 thousand on a trade. And then, of course, ended up making 8,000 yesterday. That was on an INTC trade. And then today I ended up taking Palantir. So far, still in this trade. Nice continuation towards the upside here today. But with that being said, let's talk more so about the higher time frames and what to expect on the major indices. So as I was gone, there's a couple of things that happened. Number one, the main thing that we had was the MU earnings, which was last week. And you can see overall markets, we end up having a drop more so on the semiconductors themselves. As you can see, if we're looking at MU, we had a nice pop in the after hours, only now to be faded a week later back down into that earnings low that we had. So semiconductors are a lot weaker. You end up having a nice pop, as I mentioned, INTC, nice pop here as well. But so far, as you can see, the last 2 weeks, we've been fairly neutral, more so on the semis. If you look at DRAM, similar thesis here, right? DRAM is slowing down just a little bit. And now you can actually see that the SPY is a little bit more bullish coming to this week. So what is the game plan moving forward? So far on the daily time frame, or let's go into the weekly time frame, we're just consolidating. We're basing above this 9 EMA here on the weekly. What I like to see now is the next leg towards the upside after this period of consolidation. If you go into the daily chart, key levels that we have marked out, 730. You can see price came underneath, overshooted, reclaimed, and you can see it came back down once again, and now we're bouncing right off this level. This wick was a settlement wick, a settlement wick. It actually didn't come all the way down into that 720. SPY and Qs, sorry, ES and the SPX made a higher low, but this is the exact area 730 that we want to see hold. Now we end up filling this daily gap back towards the upside. What we really want to see for the SPY is preferably the trade back up in towards that 750 and potentially that all-time highs here in the near future. As for the levels coming into today and moving forward, right now we're holding this level nicely, which is at 744. We want to see a trade back up in towards these areas, which is our 750, along with our 754. You can see in this case, the SPY is a little bit more bullish than the Qs. Normally, we don't want to see this. We want to see the Qs or the SMH leading the markets. We normally don't want to see SPY leading the markets. That's fine, but the best times and the best trading opportunities comes when tech is leading or some of the semiconductors. In this case, Qs is lagging behind, right? We're closer to this previous retest level. We did fill its daily gap yesterday, but you can see SPY's above our previous day highs compared to the Qs, which is inside the middle of the range. So right now we're having a little bit of rotation back into some of the tech names and out of the semiconductors and out of the memory names, right? Not a lot. That doesn't mean they're going to continue dropping, but you can just see there's a little bit more of a rotation within the past week or so, right? Tesla off the lows. Microsoft so far bouncing off this double bottom, right? Meta ended up gapping up today. Bullish news. Amazon starting to bounce a little bit here, right? Google, Apple. You can see all these names are starting to bounce compared to something like AMD, which is consolidating more in the past week. Nvidia, which is closer to the low of the range. MU consolidation a little bit more. SNDK, INTC. So you get what I'm saying. So what can we expect moving forward here in the markets? Number one, higher time frame structure is still bullish, but we are more so consolidating right around these EMAs. What I would like to see now on the Qs is a maintain above that 726 for a pushback up in towards the highs. And of course, the SPY is leading the markets here, right? SMH is a lot weaker within the past week or so. You can see this one's consolidating a bit more. So for the SMH, now we're going to have to wait for it to consolidate and wait for that next leg towards the upside, and eventually wait for the semis and the memory names to start consolidating here as well. So with that being said, let's talk about what to expect moving forward, right? Tesla's showing a lot of strength here, so we'll keep an eye out on Tesla. The break or the push up in towards that 450, that's going to be a key technical level. Nvidia is kind of lagging behind. AMD still bullish, but for AMD now, we just want to see it kind of build up a higher low for continuation back towards the upside. The main things to keep an eye out for are names like the Mag 7, right? Apple, weekly break and retest for a pushback towards the upside. Google, weekly break and retest for a pushback towards the upside. Microsoft, we have this potential V shape back up in towards our 400 key psych level. That's going to be a key technical area. Meta had some news. So we had some bullish news on Meta today in the pre-market. We ended up having nice continuation. This was a potential trading opportunity on Meta today, right off that 594. Nice push up in towards that 620. So with the news in the pre-market, you can see a lot of the Mag 7 names started bouncing and a lot of the memory names started dropping and some of the semis. So we'll continue to focus on names like Meta, right? Amazon. We'll see if we can get a rotation back into some of these tech names in the Mag 7 moving forward. Palantir was one of the trades that we ended up taking today for a break back towards the upside above our previous day highs for a push up and towards that 130. So Palantir, absolutely fantastic trade back towards the upside. Intraday relative strength above our previous day highs for continuation back towards the upside. Other names like MU, as I mentioned, slowing down just a little bit, right around this 21 EMA. So as you can see, we've bounced here multiple times. What we don't want to see is the market start slowing down and the EMA start crossing, right? I'd consider us still in an uptrend, but we are definitely slowing down in comparison to how we were moving beforehand. INTC, similar thesis, right? Kind of slowing down, bouncing off the 9 and 21, but we want to see the break above our all-time highs for the next continuation towards the upside. What are some names that I like? Right, names that have been beaten down quite a bit. So things like Hood are moving up nicely. Palantir, it's just because the SPY is leading the market. So when SPY leads the market, we're gonna have to focus in on names that aren't normally tech names, and we'll have to focus on names like Palantir, Hood, those other names that are within the S&P 500. So as you can see here for the markets, that's kind of a rough weekly outlook. The overall markets are still very much bullish. We've been consolidating the past couple weeks, which have made it a little bit more difficult to trade. There's been a lot of volatility. If you look at the VIX, we had a couple spikes on the VIX, but now we're starting to drop here once again. So with that being said, the game plan moving forward, as long as the markets gravitate back towards the upside, we're going to be a little bit more patient and just focus in on names with relative strength and weakness. We're not going to try and predict price and predict any of these names to gravitate higher. We're just going to react to price, see what it gives us in the pre-market, and then of course wait for intraday price action here as well. Some of the main watches moving forward, as I mentioned, are more so the Mag 7 names, right? Like an Apple bounce. We'll keep an eye on Google, Microsoft, Meta for some renewed strength in these ones. And yeah, with that being said, that's about it for me today. Just a quick little update for you guys. As I mentioned, I'll have some more videos uploaded for you guys on my second channel. I've just been a little bit busy. Today's Canada's Day, so happy Canada's Day to all the Canadians out there. We do have a market holiday on Friday, of course, with the Independence Day for America. So it's going to be a long weekend. So hopefully you guys enjoy your holiday season. Enjoy your long weekend as well. And then I will see you guys all next week. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.